Let brother on in here. Attention prayer. And we pray. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praises are due to Allah, the Lord of the world, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of this day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, thee alone do we beseech for help. O Allah, guide us on the right path, the path you have bestowed favors, not of those whom your wrath has brought down, nor those who go astray. O Allah, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this month of Ramadan. We thank you for all of the wonderful blessings that you have bestowed upon us as we have been trying to parse your words. Bless us, Allah, with integrity and oneness and the highest morals and ethics that come with this technology of the Quran. Thank you for Mr. L. Ron Hubbard. Thank you for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. In their names we pray. Ameen.
Ameen. Allahu
In the
Akbar.
name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, Master Farrakhan Muhammad, and that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan are true servants of Allah. In their names, I say, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Okay, I see Sister Haviva took a vacation today, at least up to this point anyway, but we're trying to get all of this stuff in today.
I'm calling her. I'm sorry, I'm calling her now, Brother Bateen.
Yes. We're going to go ahead, anyway, we're going to go to, unless somebody got something before this, I want to go directly to Surah 70, Ayat 19.
Give me 1 second.
These surahs start getting shorter and shorter as we go here. I've got a couple of other things that are flagged, but I thought that since we winding it up and we got less time today.
Surah 70, Ayat 19.
I said 19. But I'm thinking now. Yeah, let's just say 19.
Surah 70, the ways of ascent. Surely man is created impatient.
Yeah, surely man is created impatient. And so this is one of the first things that we encounter in the training of Scientology. It's just such a wonderful thing, in my opinion, that Allah is pointing out these things, pointing out these shortcomings to us, and then we can find at least some of the remedy, or at least a partial remedy, in the technology given to us by Mr. Hubbard. To me, I just think that is just wonderful, because all of these years, 1,400 years or so, we tell people, well, just be patient. Well, now, how do you be patient? How can you, what is the method of which you are patient? You see? And it seems as though we haven't even thought of that. The fact, it's surely man is created impatient. So now, if you create it that way, and then people always telling you, you just be patient. Well, then, I mean, what's up with that? You see? And so in Scientology, you have these things, as we have talked about before, called the tiaras, or the training routines. And what it does, it just basically trains you. It trains you in patience. And when I say training, that means that training is generally like a drill. It's sort of like a repetition that develops certain skills, that develops certain concepts. And the training routine for patients, or at least one of the routines for patient, is I think it's tiara zero, which they call it be there. And if you take, and that's part of what Mr. Hubbard calls the upper indoctrination. Upper indoctrination, that's a real interesting name. The upper indoctrination is this where you be there. So what they do, the drill is you sit across from someone else who is, your twin. They call it your twin, in much the same way that you do as if you are in an auditing session. And then you look at that person, or you just sit there, and then you just, the only thing you trying to do is just be there. And the drills, if they're done all the way to completion, that you would have at the end of this first stage of upper indoctrination, you will have sit there for hours. And this helps to break down some of the barriers which are between you and patient. And when you think about patience is something, if you're not patient, what is this a sign of? Normally it's a sign of anxiety, even though it can be some other things, I would imagine. But anxiety, you're looking at the future. You're not in present time. When you begin to get impatient, you're not in present time. Maybe you're thinking about something in the past, but most likely you're thinking about something in the future. And so we have the tech in the prayers, and we were talking about it yesterday. And the part of the tech that's in the prayers is that I seek refuge in Allah from anxiety and grief. So you're seeking refuge in Allah from anxiety. So if you remove the anxiety, then there's more of a room for patience. And one thing about these tiaras, and we're gonna do it because I think we can do these tiaras via Zoom. One of the things that I found out from my independent Scientology friends, and of course this is just the teaching of Mr. Hubbard anyway. So regardless of what school you go to, that's it's gonna be the same. But I would let you know now, the independent Scientologists are somewhat at odds with the Church of Scientology, because the Church of Scientology they feel like they are the rightful heirs to L. Ron Hubbard. And then so you got people that disagreed with that, but they still use the tech. And so anyway, we're gonna let them handle that themselves. My thing is I'm like the minister say, I'm like a wino. I just want the wine. I don't care what bottle it comes in, you see. And so what one of my teachers in the independent, they call it the free zone, was saying that he pointed out that the TRs are actually, they like fundamentals of training. And you know how we talk so much about fundamentals, and that the fundamentals is, when you say fundamentals, say, for example, if you're learning, say if you're learning mathematics, what do you start off with? You start off with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These are the fundamentals of mathematics, the fundamentals of measurement, increments of measurement. And you can get, when you get to the very highest level of, say, calculus. I can't even say I even know what the highest level of mathematics is. That's a good question that I just asked myself. Inshallah, I need to find out the answer. But I know I got as far as advanced calculus. And I know from advanced calculus, you are still using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And if they give you a problem and you miss any part of the fundamentals, the problem is wrong. So these training routines are the same thing for those who are not even on what they call in Scientology the bridge, the total freedom. When you start getting into some of the advanced course study and advanced training, they give you the upper indoctrination. And in the upper indoctrination, you have these TRs, training routines, which extend all the way up to the highest level of Scientology, the highest levels of OT, operating thetan, which is what, OT 8. And so you're still dealing with this. So in other words, these are very basic things. And actually this is part of what delineates between Dianetics and Scientology. So the church and the technology of Mr. Hubbard, he has some designs to deal with impatience, training routines for impatience. And as we were saying, that much of impatience is caused by anxiety. And then so we're given in the prayer, we are instructed in the prayer, or admonished or advised in the prayer to seek refuge in Allah from anxiety and grief. And so one of the things that you can do is you become aware of yourself. And as you study this technology, it becomes increasingly clear that of the delineation of soul or spirit or thetan from mind, from body, from universe, where you can look at these things as separate entities. And so when you're saying, I seek refuge in Allah from anxiety, then you are seeking to exteriorize yourself from this anxiety. or you could say this sphere of anxiety, because oftentimes we can get buried in the thoughts that have created anxiety, which goes back to thought, emotion. Anxiety is an emotion. So you have a thought that gives you anxiety, and it leads to some action or some effort. And the emotion, part of the emotion is it serves as a regulator of the effort. So whatever emotion you are feeling, it is regulate, that particular emotion regulates the effort. Okay, we're going to keep on going here. We're going to go to Surah Surah 7, Surah 72. I don't even remember, see how I even put this on here, y'all. Y'all work with a brother here today. We're going to Surah 72. Now I got a few flagged in between then, but I just flagged these twice because I thought that they were kind of important, that we looked at these particular things. We've been talking about the jinn, and we've been talking about the angels and so forth. And so we talked about when we are in Surah 72 here, entitled The Jinn. Okay, and it reads, "Say, it has been revealed to me that a party of the jinn listened. So they say, surely we have heard a wonderful Quran." And it's really interesting there. And I wonder what we talked about, the jinn being an angel or a manifestation of an angelic entity. And we talked about the angelic entities actually being valences or being personalities that are formed by similar facsimiles and experiences in a person's life. And that the jinn demons, you have demons there. The demon is that which, we use the example of the Flintstones, where sometimes the cartoon, the Flintstones, where sometimes Fred would have an angel on his right with the little wings, and then he'd have the devil with the pitchfork, a little version of himself on the left. And so it says in the footnote, the existence of jinn or ethereal beings, like the angels, the former being the spirits of evil and the latter the spirits of good, is a question quite distinct. But it is clear that the jinn spoken of here did not belong to this class. Okay. C6 128 for full, 6128A for full explanation of the word. Can you find that, Belinda, and put it in the chat right quick? Okay. Because this is, to me, this is very important. And It's a big thing. You know, he said the jinn are also referred to in 46, 29 to 31. I think we flagged that one. We might not have talked about it, but I'm thinking that that one had been flagged too. So if you would also put that in the chat, Belinda, I appreciate it. Where they are made to say, oh, our people, we have heard a book revealed after Moses verifying that which is before. This shows that they were Jews. The jinn spoken of here are evidently Christians. So the jinn are these personalities that even though we know that the white man is he is a fallen angel. He's a fallen angel. And so I just found it very interesting that they were referred to as such, because as we were saying, you have different gradients of manifestation of angelic reality. Okay? All right. We're going to have to come back to that, Belinda.
I'm just getting the first one.
Okay.
18
Okay.
I have to find it in both places. But
It's all right, darling. Just, you know. I hope everybody's having a wonderful last day of Ramadan. About to say Eid Mubarak. And this would have been our last day, I guess, but it wouldn't have been the last day because it's 29 or 30 days. And I guess you could rationalize it either way when you start splitting hairs. I'm beginning to really not like this idea of splitting hairs. He said the word jinn is derived from jana, meaning the covered or concealed or hid or protected. The class of beings that goes under this name stands in the Holy Quran for the spirits of evil or the beings that invite man to evil, as opposed to the angels who invite him to good, both being. Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, it's long. I gotta keep posting.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought we was already good.
One more hit.
Angels invite him to do good, both being alike invisible to the human eye. So that goes back. See, this is a personality. You don't. The mind is invisible. I guess in a sense to the human eye, you know, if you know how to read a mind, this is really what this stuff doing. It helps you to read minds. But see, be real careful when it comes to that, because, you know, we Black folks, we bean soup scientists and figurologists and all that kind of stuff. We read one thing and then we make up two other things that ain't there. See, but there's a wider use of the word in Arabic literature as well as in the Quran. One signification of the word is explained in 72:1. All right, going to put that on up there too, Belinda. And I'm sorry that I didn't, prepare you for this. And I would refer the reader to that footnote. But the word is also applied in the Quran to great potentates or powerful leaders who, through their importance and detachment from the masses, do not mix freely with them. So they remain distant or hidden from their eyes. In Arabic literature, such a use was permitted. A verse of Musa ibn Jabir, in which the word jinn occurs, is thus explained on the authority of Tabriz on I am. And my companions who were like the jinn did not flee when I came to them and informed them, where the word jinn is translated as meaning companions who were like the jinn. And then this could mean that had elements of the personality. That means that could be in the valence, in a certain valence that was evil. Because as we go about life and we collecting facsimiles, that it forms different personalities in us. And the only thing that we have to stabilize us from those formation of personalities, if they develop that much, is our integrity and our belief in Allah and our ARC with righteousness. And because these are personalities that will lead you to death, that will terminate your existence on this earth. And this is one reason why we are taught that in this day that our righteousness shall sustain us. But I wanted to give it, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time because here we are at 5:30 right now. I just wanted us to revisit that again and take a look. And inshallah, I'm optimistic about getting through this medical thing that I'm going through, because that's one thing I really want to write about too, is the angels and the devils and the demons and the reality of all of them, and synchronize that with the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But just suffice it to say that the jinn is referring to synthetic personalities that are created, and then it could be when you start talking about them being the Jews and being the Christian, it's the personality that is created on the third dynamic, which is the third dynamic is a group. All right. So in that other footnote, it says, what is meant by the assembly of jinn here in verse 130? This is made clear if we read this verse with those following. In this verse, the jinn are spoken of as friends of men. And verse 129, which continues the subject, speaks of the iniquitous as befriending one another, while in 130, men and jinn are spoken of as a single marsha or community. Again, in 131, those very jinn are spoken of as being no others than the dwellers of the cities which were destroyed on account of their sins. And we know that the jinn who dwell in cities are only men. The context thus makes it clear that by the jinn here are meant the leaders of evil just as by I get shaitan, devils, are meant leaders for which, and then
Uh-oh.
there's another. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, because I just want to give you a feel for what that is. Is that, see, it's not spooky. See, because a lot of times people think angels are spooky and demons. They think about demons is spooky. You go outside of your house late at night and something that's not real. If something jump you at late at night, that's gonna be a human being. It ain't gonna be nothing that poof out of the dang sky, poof, out of nowhere. Because we are scientists. Scientists, we study phenomenon. Phenomenon is that which you can see, that which you can observe. Okay? All right, so let's move on. 531, we're going to go a little bit more. We're going to hopefully have a chance to entertain a few questions. I just, hope y'all will understand that today I'm less than 12 hours from checking into the surgery at the hospital. So, I'm just, my time is not as plentiful as, in previous sessions. So I hope that you will bear with me. I want to go to ayat 75. Surah 75, ayat 1 and 2.
You want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Surah 75, ayat 1 and 2. Nay, I swear by the day of resurrection. Nay, I swear by the self-accusing spirit.
Okay, let me find it. I want to take a look at it myself. And this is saying that Allah is basically, he's saying that this is Allah. And some of you may have remembered the lecture that the minister pointed this out, that the fact that Allah here in the Quran is swearing. Allah said, I swear. Pretty much is the truth of the resurrection is that, look, I swear. That the resurrection is going to take place, and then he gives us the mechanism of the resurrection. He said, I swear you're going to get up. You're going to be raised. Now, some of us, when we get raised, it's going to be a harder time for some of us than it is for others. And he says, I swear by the self-accusing spirit. So the self-accusing spirit is that part of yourself that don't take no stuff. James Brown had that hit called Papa Don't Take No Mess. Well, that's the personification of the self-accusing spirit, because this is a part of you that is Allah. That is the essence of Allah. What is the essence of Allah? What does the word essence mean? Essence means that which makes a thing what it is. So he swears because he have put in each and every one of us. That's why he wants every last one of us. It's because every last one of us. Do you know any Muslims other than righteous? No, not one. Never heard of one. Never heard of one. Why? Because you have this mechanism, this built-in mechanism that makes you strive toward perfection. And when you do something wrong, when you do something very imperfect, then it accuses you. What is an accusation? It is an observation pointing out some wrong action or some wrong condition, some wrong state. So you have the self-accusing spirit. This is the strongest. This is the strongest part of your nature. This is the part of your nature that really, it seems to me, overrides everything else you got on natural. Everything you got within yourself naturally. The self-accusing spirit. This is the spirit that is being resurrected in us from and through the Mahdi. Man, if I can correct myself, if I get 100% beyond a certain threshold of connectivity with the self-accusing spirit, which is me, then maybe I can become Mahdi. The Mahdi didn't come just for it to be one Mahdi. The Mahdi came to resurrect us. What did it say? The first begotten of what? The dead. So if you are the begotten of the dead, what has happened to you? You have been resurrected from the dead. And he's saying that the self-accusing spirit, that part of you with no compromise, that part of you that is imbued with the truth, which is the exact consideration, ain't cutting no slack nowhere. He said, I swear by this spirit that is in you that you are gonna be raised. Therefore, I want all of y'all that's got this self-accusing spirit, and I think even those who are condemned in a certain at a certain point in the judgment. Now, this is just me talking, Brother Batin, that we're gonna have people maybe that was hypocrites, and even the Quran talks about some of the hypocrites are gonna end up after Allah chastise them and purge this hypocrisy from them, they're gonna end up strong believers. See? So I swear by the self-accusing spirit, I swear that I have put something in you that you are going to be raised. And not only the self-accusing spirit, he got the self-accusing spirit working from the inside, then he got the theta mess theory working from the outside. He got this thing rigged so that I don't care what goes on. I don't care what happens to you, what you did, what you're doing, what you're going to do. Eventually, you're going to end up resurrected from the dead. Yes, Sister Carol. Let's we're a little pressed for time, but go ahead, sis.
Assalamu alaikum. I just
Salam.
wanted to ask real quickly. I thought that you were going to say that the self-accusing spirit was part of the theta. So
I think you're right. It's
How?
one of the
That's not what you
qualities.
just said.
I'm sorry. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that's what I thought. You said the self-accusing spirit is coming from one place and the theta is coming from another place.
Did I say that?
So, yeah. I mean, yes, sir.
What was that? I mean, can you quote me or get
You said the self-accusing spirit is coming from the one side. You got, wait a minute. You got something coming from the theta, and then you got the self-accusing spirit coming from the other side.
Okay, well let me just straighten that up right now. That the self-accusing spirit is part of theta. That is the characteristic of theta. You know, that is part of the personality of theta, is the self-accusing spirit. So if I made it seem separate, that's my mistake.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right, so let us, it's 5:42. We're gonna have to go on to part 30. Part 30, Surah Surah 82. I think that's Surah 82, ayat 10 and 11.
Surah 82, the cleaving. And surely there are keepers over you, honorable recorders.
What page is that, Belinda?
Electronic 1275.
1175.
1279.
Wow. Mine is telling me I don't have one like that. That was 82.
You said 82?
Right.
Surah 82, ayat 10 and 11.
Okay, I just about got it here. It's it says, yeah, in 10 it says 10 and ayat 10, 11, and 12. It says, surely, well, I'll go back. It says, "O man, what beguiles thee from thy Lord, the gracious, who created thee, then made thee complete, then made thee in a right good state. Into whatever form he pleases, he casts thee. Nay, but you give the lie to the judgment. And surely there are keepers over." This is the ayats here. "Surely there are keepers over you, honorable recorders." they know what you do. And so I think that one reference of these honorable recorders is your mind. That everything you do is recorded. Not only is it recorded, it's recorded, and that's kind of interesting. The word recording. I'm wondering what recorder that they have back in that time. I guess it was like the scribes and the Pharisees where they recorded the words. But we have, when he says honorable recorders, then I can see how that could refer to the mind being a repository or a recorder of facsimiles. Because when the mind records facsimiles, then they everything, the 50 some odd perceptics that Mr. Hubbard talks about is they are all in this facsimile. And just depending on what level of awareness, it goes back to something Sister Carol had asked a couple of days ago about the fundamental and about of whether or not the overtones was a lie. And I was just saying that I can see how you can get there, but the fundamental tones actually you just can't hear the harmonics. It's not that they are a lie. They are actually a part. They are a part of the fundamental and actually cause the fundamental to sound the way it does. But just like in perceptics, you look and you can see something and you can hear something and then you can feel it, taste, smell, but there are several other harmonics that are based on these, what they call the five senses. So there are other layers that when you get to a certain level of awareness, in my case with the music, I've listened, I have a trained ear. I can hear harmonics. And then some people just can hear it even without a trained ear. Some people they just have that gift of being able to hear it. You hear more than one different thing. And it's a very subtle thing. And as it is with Allah's whole universe, is that there are so many subtle realities. All right. So the honorable recorders, that could point to the fact that what you're recording all of the different perceptics that are possible in this thing that you are recording. One of the things that you can say is one for harmonics of feel might be temperature. It might be, temperature in the room, body temperature. One perceptic is being aware of your heartbeat. One perceptic is being aware of the flow of blood through your body. And so it says they know what you do. And sometimes even when you have an experience with somebody, so sometimes you talk to people, and I'm kind of like that because I'm still and somewhat proud of it to a degree. At my age, I still have a certain degree of naivety. I can still be a little naive sometimes and a little slow to catch on to certain things. But when I go back to it, when I go back to the facsimile, and where my mind is concentrating on in real time on the person at that particular time when the incident happened, when I go back to it, sometimes I can experience other perceptics that give me a deeper clue as to what was actually going on. Just like sometimes you can do that with counter emotion. Sometimes when you're talking to somebody initially, you don't feel the counter emotion that this person was really what that was being projected at you from this particular person. But when you go back and you think about what they said, and then you actually return to that particular facsimile, and you in the facsimile, then you can see, man, this guy was trying to do this. They was trying to do that. Okay, running out of time. Here we go. Next, Surah 84, ayat 6. You gonna say it? You gonna say it, Belinda?
Yes, sir. The bursting asunder. O man, thou must strive a hard striving to attain to thy Lord until thy meet him.
Yeah, thou. Okay. Yeah, so that is one that really stuck out to me this year, that it has never stuck out to me like this before. And so that, even that in itself, that talks about the honorable recorders, is that sometimes when you're reading the Quran, then you look at the words, and all of these words you begin to draw from the various perceptics of the word. And so when you read it this time, you feel a certain kind of way about it. And then when you revisit it and you read it again, then you feel different sometimes. And so that's kind of, I guess I've read this many times, but it kind of snagged me this time. It says, oh man, you must strive a hard strive. So that means, you got to feel something to attain to Allah. I mean, you're not going to ride into the kingdom of heaven. You're not going to ride into the kingdom of heaven and everything is all right. There's a surah that says, you cannot, do you think that you will enter the garden and not go through the like of what those went through before you? So Allah, he's saying that this is not an easy thing, because if it's easy, you probably will not be able to separate from the norm of mediocrity. That if something is hard and something is challenging, then the hardness and the challenging nature of this particular thing forces you to reach deep into your faculties, reach deep into your faculties. And that's how you see Allah. The more aware you are, it makes you more aware, and it causes you and forces you to rely on your mental and spiritual resources. Go ahead, Sister Carol.
Okay, real quick. Where, I should be reading along, but I'm not. Where did you get honorable recordings from? The ayat in the Holy Quran or the commentary of Maulana Muhammad Ali?
It's the ayat.
Okay. That's what I thought. Now, we already are aware that the Holy Quran contains vital information that preceded the inventions of, that we know now, of telescopes, knew about the baby in the womb, and many other things. So I would say that why would you call the recordings honorable unless it's a certain majesty that Allah is pointing out that's going on in the human being as they're recording. They're recording the same that Mr. Hubbard is saying. The Holy Quran could see, surely, I'm sure everybody agreed, Mr. Hubbard could not have seen anything before Allah 1,400 years ago when he revealed certain things to his prophet. So it's pointing to that they're saying one and the same. That's what I'm saying. Why would you
Yes,
call
ma'am.
recording
Do you
honorable?
remember what my commentary was about that?
No.
Just right. That's basically what that's basically what I was saying. It's almost
Same thing?
exactly the same thing. Right.
Okay. Thanks. Assalamu
All right.
alaikum.
Yes, ma'am. Walaikum salam. I'm trying to get this thing where we right here at the end now, and I wanted to get a little bit more of this, but I think this ayat that we're talking about right now is man must strive a hard strive. So that's just letting us know that that we must strive a hard strive. It's not going to be easy. See, so if it's easy, if it's easy, then we know that in all likelihood, it may be something missing. Okay, we're at 5:58 now, and I think, brother, I saw where brother Luke Man had canceled his class, but real quick, Surah 90, ayat 4.
We have certainly created man to face difficulties.
Okay, so it's in the infrastructure of man's beingness to face difficulties. See, to face. So this goes back to auditing. With the whole essence of auditing is to confront. You have to confront. All right? Go ahead, Brother Jason.
Yes, sir. Brother, student minister, real briefly, I know we're pressed for time, but I think it's important that I go ahead and say this now. We know you have a surgery tomorrow, and we wanted to come together as the STW family and have a unity prayer for you, brother minister. I don't know if you wanted to finish the last part or I don't know how you want to do it.
Yeah, we can do it. I appreciate that. We can do it. And I don't want anybody, Sister Carol and anybody, please don't think I'm just, dissing you or nothing like that. I'm just really trying to get this stuff out of the way. Because I got a lot of stuff I gotta do. And I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. And I appreciate what you're saying too, Brother Jason. It's just a few things that I would like to do to close this out if we can.
Sir.
And
yes,
and
sir.
if you have some questions, please write the questions in the chat or send it to Sister Belinda or myself. And inshallah, when I'm at the point where I can address these questions, then we will certainly do it. But I'm just trying to get through this thing. That's really what this is. And I ain't mad at nobody or nothing. I just want to try to do this because I got a few things I gotta do. And okay, so thank you, Brother Jason. Good to see your face on the camera.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be on standby.
All right. Yes, yeah, they got that big old handsome smile.
Just
look at it.
Reflection of you, sir.
Oh, praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. And then so 94, 5, and 8.
I'm back, Brother Bate. Time got with me.
All right. Surah 94, 5 through 8.
Does he think that no one has power over him? He will say, I have wasted much wealth. Does he think that no one sees him? Have we not given him 2 eyes?
Is that Surah 94, 5 through 8?
You just say 94. I thought you said 90.
No, man.
Please forgive me, sir. Surely with difficulty is ease. With difficulty is surely ease. So when thou art free from anxiety, work hard and make thy Lord thy exclusive object.
All right. So with difficulty comes ease. You can study your theta mess again. So, and that's why he was saying that you were created to face difficulty, and that it is the path to Allah is difficult, but then at the same time, with difficulty comes ease. And Allah knows how to ebb and flow that thing. And it says, but when you are free from the difficulty and the anxiety is gone, then make Allah the exclusive object. Make Allah the exclusive object. And I remember the minister saying at one time, the exclusive object of your study. Okay. All right. And then 95, 4.
Ayat 4. Certainly we created man and the best mate. Then we rendered. Just 4, he said.
Right. That's right. The best make. So what is the best make? The best make is man. And so if Allah appears, he would appear in the best mate. We don't know of a better mate than man. And so we see all of the things. I'm thinking about what's getting ready to happen with me with my surgery. They cracking me open, and putting fabric in my body that mimics what Allah made, and showing somewhat of the potential of man. And that's what the minister was saying. He's talked about He said, look at what the white man has done. He's gone to the moon. You know, he said, and a lot of us as black folk said we have not even we can't even get out the bed. So we're gonna do 99, 6, and 8. Then I got 2 more after that, and then we're gonna be done.
That's 99, 6 through 8.
That's correct.
I had 6. On that day, men will come forth in sundry bodies, that they may be shown their works. So he who does an atom's weight of good will see it, and he who does an atom's weight of evil will see it.
Okay, so the moral of this story is that Allah is very meticulous in his accounting. He says it's a recurring theme in the Quran where Allah, he says that, you know, whatever you do, you know, there is nothing that will not be accounted for. You will get credit for everything that you do. Because Allah is just, he created the universe with truth. So that means he's very exact. That's what truth is. Truth is the exact reality of what's going on. Nothing added, nothing taken away from it. Okay, so now Surah 113, the whole surah.
Yes, sir. Surah 113, Aleph Allah the Dawn. In the name of Allah, the Magnificent, the Merciful. Ayat 1. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the Dawn, from the evil of that which he has created, and from the evil of intense darkness when it comes, and from the evil of those who cast evil suggestions and firm resolutions, and from the evil of the envier when he envies.
Okay, and I'm sure maybe some other people got some other things to say about this, so we will allow the additional commentary on these. These are the last 2, and these are the ones that the minister had admonished us to study. Seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn. So the dawn is when the light comes on. And seek refuge from the evil of that which he has created. So he created evil. What is evil? Evil is that which hinders good. It hinders the aid. It hinders help. And I guess it says from the evil of intense darkness. So, you know, intense darkness, that could mean darkness itself is kind of got an evil quality to it, because it's harder to do things in the dark than it is in the daytime. The darkness itself is a hindrance. And this gives light on to what we were talking about with our word clearing, when we cleared good and evil. Good is help, evil is hindrance. So when you look at that that's a real big picture of good and evil. You're not zeroing in on one thing, you know, and having a tendency to develop tunnel vision. And so the evil of intense darkness, it gives you a little idea of what's going on. And from the evil of those who cast evil suggestions and firm resolutions. So this could be the jinn too, you know. And the evil from the envier when he envies. But this right here, if we say the evil of those who cast evil suggestions and firm resolutions. And I guess that could mean that something that seems to be clear but there's an underlying there's an underlying reality, there's an underlying motive and underlying intention from this firm resolution where you feel firm about it, just almost like the prophet in Surah 9, where it was talking about the hypocrites that was among the prophets. He said the prophet, he knew he didn't know who the hypocrites was. So obviously he thought everybody that was with him was firm, which makes me think of something else that I just said about it. The prophet was a little naive, maybe, which also makes me think about when the minister first stood up, the first laborers meeting, he came right out. He said, well, don't you all think that I'm so naive to think that everybody in here is with me? See, all right. And from the evil of the envier when he envies. And so this envy comes from the attempt to reconcile the idea, the concept that exists in most, if all, men and women, is that the jealousy, the natural jealousy. See, the thing is with us, see, Allah got a right to be jealous, because it sure enough ain't nobody better than him. And if somebody put a God before him, they made a mistake. Not so much the case with us, because there very well may be somebody that's better or more astute or have more acumen than we do. And so it is our mismanagement of this reality that causes us to fall into envy. We can't, when we can't put it away properly, that somebody might know a little bit more than we know. Or might be a little bit sharper. They may be a little prettier. They might be, it may have more money. Or may have something that you want that you don't have. So that's a real line of demarcation that we have to be aware of. We don't want to be an envier. We want to stay away from that, just like the scriptures say, go not close to fornication, go not near fornication. See, so we don't want to go near envy, but if there is jealousy there, understand that this is a natural thing and learn to manage it. The best way to manage it is to work toward being better in this particular aspect and learn how to, they say the greatest thing. Now, I wonder why is that the greatest thing that we was ever taught by Master Farah Muhammad is to accept your own and be yourself. Accept your own reality. You ain't gonna be the best because you ain't God. See, so this is something that we have to struggle. In the study guides, it's study guide number 4, talking about the struggle for balance. This is one of the things that we have to study to gain our balance. And when you gain your balance, then you gain mobility. All right, Sister Haviva, the last surah. Let's hear it. 114.
Yes, sir. Ayat 114, Al-Nas, the men. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of men, the King of men, the God of men, from the evil of the whispering of the slinking devil, who whispers into the hearts of men from among the jinn and the men.
I seek refuge in the Lord of men, the King of men, the God of men. So we know that this is all talking about Allah. He is the Lord of men. He is the King of men. He is the God of men. But I think additionally, we think about when we say Jesus. I remember the minister used to teach that Jesus had so submitted and so aligned himself up with God that when you saw him, and as he says in the scripture, he said, they asked him about the Father, when we gonna see the Father, Jesus? And Jesus said, haven't I been with you all of this time? Don't you see that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? And so when you look at the function here, see, when you look at it from a standpoint of a functional reality, the Lord of men could be Allah in the person of Louis Farrakhan, because he has nurtured us stage by stage. Well, we ain't at perfection yet, but there's certain things that we are perfecting. I can listen to what everybody says. When you start talking, I can hear levels of perfection being attained greater than the levels that I met you with. I met you with on a certain level. And see, Allah has blessed me with a good memory and a good mathematical mind that when I talk to you and I listen to you, there's a mathematical value that is, I measure you just like you measure me. And so I know that from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, which all of this is a product, STW is not a product of Bateen, it's a product of the minister. And he is the Lord. He is nurturing me and you and everybody that points our attention to where he instructed us to point it, that we are being nurtured stage by stage toward perfection. And if we stick with him, we will eventually arrive past the threshold of perfection, not absolute perfection, which doesn't exist. Allah he's always going to give us something else, or another level to rise to. And this is part of why it says that we would have in the kingdom of Allah, that we would have unlimited progress. So Allah is the Lord of man, but Allah is manifesting this attribute in the minister. Seek refuge in Allah through the minister. Seek refuge in the King of men. The King of men is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's Allah's working through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because Allah is in him, he is in Allah. That Elijah Muhammad set up a kingdom from 1934 to 1974. You look and you see this miraculous thing that Elijah Muhammad, he set up a kingdom. Never before, and really never since, other than with the minister, have Black people voluntarily. See, all of these kings in Africa, these kings, they came doing what they saw their fathers doing. But here in America, a king came up named Elijah Muhammad, who was in the Father, and the Father was in him. And he took on this function as a king. And then I seek refuge in the God of men. Well, then that ain't nothing but Master Farad Muhammad, because he is the God of men. I seek refuge in the Lord, the King, and the God from the evil whisperings, the evil, that which is keeping you from progress, that which is the opposite of help, the evil of the whisperings of the slinking devil in whatever form he might come. Because the devil slinking, that means he's slick. If somebody want to look up, Belinda, you can look that word up right quick. He's slick, deceitful, deceptive, manifestation of the word of the number 6, incompletion. Who whispers into the hearts of men. He says subtle things. That's what a whisper is. It's just a subtle conversation into the hearts to bring your tone level or your tone scale level down.
Is it slick I'm looking up? Which word?
Slink. SLINKING. And then you might want to look at slink too. I don't know. Who whispers into the hearts of men from among the jinn and the men. So this comes from men and it comes from the jinn, which is more of an angelic manifestation of this evil, a negative thought. I'm walking around here, I'm thinking, I'm getting ready to go into surgery. Then a thought comes in, well then, what if this and what is that? That's the jinn. That's a valence of somebody. That's a valence of me losing, of me being a loser, of me being unsuccessful, of me failing. That whispers, and then if you listen to that, then it takes your tone level down. So you seek refuge in the minister, in the messenger, and the God. Knowing that God is the master of all. We don't want to confuse them, but we can delineate the function that these men have played. Because what we're doing even now is part of an evolutionary process that is taking place, has taken place in the Nation of Islam with Dianetics, Scientology.
I put sneaking.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. To sneak, to move in a quiet, furtive, a sneaking manner. See, trying to be undetected. To sneak. Sneaky. I think that's the first word I said, was sneaky. All right, brothers and sisters. That's it. Ramadan Mubarak, Eid Mubarak. Thank you for all of you who have been on this journey with us. And I think everybody that's on here, we've been hanging out together. You know, we've been hanging out, and I don't say it enough because I'm not too much of a ritualistic or rigid person. But as we always say when we do the cut bars and on Friday, Juma, you know, we say, this is what I have said. And I pray that Allah will accept what has been said by me and by you. I pray Allah has accepted our reading and our study of his Quran. I pray that Allah accepts all of our fasts, that we are blessed bountifully beyond what we've already been blessed. We've already been blessed. But that this data, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding can lodge itself in our minds in such a way that it can become optimally useful to us. So thank you. I love all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging in there, hanging with me, bearing with me. And I appreciate your participation. Cause we got some out of Brother Wadud, have you missed any days?
Of the class
Quran during Ramadan?
Maybe one. Not in
oh
total.
Man, I was getting ready to send you $1 for perfect attendance. And that's what
I have to be honest.
that's what see, so and he even learned something too.
It would be bad for me to be dishonest in Ramadan to earn $1.
$1 that would eventually make you holler.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But to everybody, Sister Carol, you know, it would not have been the same without you. Sister Haviva, you know we couldn't have done this without you. And the other Carol Muhammad, I'm assuming this is my dear, beautiful sister from South Carolina.
That is so correct, brother.
I can perceive the unseen now. All praise be to Allah. Then Sister Dorana, Sister Tina. And what would the world be without Sister Tina Muhammad? What would this world be like? I don't even want to know. And then we got Sister Sarah. I think I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. And she's just come on board recently, but we feel you, we see you, sister. And
thank you, brother.
Yes, man. Our dear sister Jacqueline is just my precious angel, you know. And we don't. And me and my wife, we don't know what we do without Sister Jacqueline. What would STW be without Sister Jacqueline? Then we got Brother Jason, soldier. I remember when we were doing the STW at the mosque. He'd come in and he'd be doing something for the mosque, and I was pulling on you, brother. I said, yeah, I need to get this brother back in there. Next thing I know, he's in there. He one of the diehard soldiers. So thank you. I don't think I left anybody out except my wonderful wife, you know, whom It's been so much of a blessing to myself and all of us into what we're trying to do. So thank you. Thank everybody. I think I talked to everybody. We acknowledge everybody. Thank you so much. So before we make prayer, well, I'll let brother Jason can finish it out. If he said he
Yes,
wanted to make a
sir.
prayer.
Yes, sir. We just wanted to come together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We wanted to come together, brother minister, and just show our appreciation as a family for all you do. The STW family, it's really inspired by Sister Jacqueline. And we just wanted to pray for you and Sister Belinda. And we are taught that we are not Muslim until we want for our brothers and sisters what we want for ourselves. And we want Allah to bless you with great health and a prosperous life. And, it's a bit concerning, the surgeries. We know you're having one. It's like, I think you told me it's like a pre-surgery. And the big one is, I think, did you say Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
Yes, sir.
But it's not,
Yes.
but the one tomorrow it's not a pre-surgery. It is a bona fide, full-fledged,
Yes, sir.
take a nigga out of here.
No, sir.
Excuse me.
No, sir. No, sir. Well,
So
know.
I mean, ain't none of this stuff no joke,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I prepared a few words, so I'll go ahead and go into prayer. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. O Allah, who appeared in the person of Master Father Muhammad, we come to you humbly as your servants, and we put Student Minister Batim Muhammad in your hands. O Allah, please protect him from the crown of his head to the sole of his feet. Please, O Allah, we ask in the name of Messenger Elijah Muhammad that you put angels around our brother. You use the doctors and nurses as vessels to house your spirit. O Allah, please make this surgery successful and bring our brother back to great health. This we ask in the name of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Ameen. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Thank you so much.
Ameen. Ameen.
Thank you,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
That means a whole lot to me.
Yes, sir. We'll be praying for
Beautiful.
you. That Allah answers prayers of the righteous. And I pray that, everything is successful and we know his will be done.
That's
and I
right.
know you'll accept that will.
That's right.
Because, you're striving. And we know that if whatever happens, our prayer, our sacrifice, our life, and our death is all for Allah.
Absolutely.
So we want you to go in peace and put Allah's name in front of you in everything you do, sir.
Well, brother, that you definitely have helped the cause with that beautiful prayer. And just thank you all for your prayers and everything. And so, you just gotta, at some point in time, you have to face the music and it's scary, man. This stuff is scary. But we just been reading all through this month about people that got scared, that was put in scary situations. And sometimes it takes a good scare to loose you from your agreement with this world.
That's right.
To make you look beyond what is and allow the fluidity of self to flow into a new world, a new creation that let Allah make. He makes all things new. And it is my prayer that he uses me further. Because we making all things new now. And I don't say that arrogantly. I'm just saying it because, the man of God sent us to a technology that helps us to know how to know, to learn how to learn. 55th surah said, which of my favors will you deny? That's one I'm not going to deny. And I'm not going to deny you, brothers, you wonderful brothers and sisters, you know, who are supportive. And inshallah, as I was saying, man, we got lots of work to do. I got work to do. You got work to do. And on another level, we really got work to do because it ain't a whole lot of people that's really aware of it on this particular level. You know, so may Allah bless each and every one of you. And I would like to close out in prayer. Close the session out in prayer. Close this Ramadan straight wire out with prayer at this time. Attention prayer. And we pray. O Allah, I seek refuge in thee from anxiety and grief. I seek thy refuge from lack of strength and laziness. I seek thy refuge from cowardice and niggardliness. And I seek thy refuge from being overpowered by debt and the oppression of men. Suffice thou me, Allah, with that which is lawful. Turn away from me that which is prohibited by thee, and by thy grace make me free of want of what is besides thee. Ameen.
Ameen.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Kareem.
Ameen. Eid Kareem.
Ma'am. All right. So inshallah, I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be on.
Right. You gonna be off a minute.
Are we
coming back on
Tuesday.
at any time? We will be back
ma'am.
on Tuesday.
We'll
Praise.
be back on Tuesday, and inshallah, hopefully we'll have some good news. We'll be back on, but we are in a transition, somewhat of a transition.
Will it be Tuesdays only until?
Yeah, it'll just be Tuesdays only until I get some kind of recovery. I definitely will not be on Thursday, because that's when I'm having the big operation. And,
Brother Bateen,
yes.
would it be too intrusive to ask what are they doing tomorrow?
No, not really.
Stop the recording. Hold on.
They've got